Hey, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Bolt City Podcast. Dave Palet, Josh Palet, and Mario Herron. It's been a week since we got together, guys, and boy, a lot has happened in the last 7 days as we sit here and we get ready for even today's show. Breaking news continues to happen again as the Chargers have something that goes in their direction. And Mario, since you're the one that saw the story first, we'll talk about what just happened with the Chargers and moving forward, how they're now a better team.
Yeah, so right now, literally right before we started the show, I just got a notification that Trey Pipkins re-signed with the Chargers for a 3-year deal. I do not know the money on it yet. That sources and just stuff hasn't come out yet. But right now, I guess step in the right direction after everything we've gone through the past couple of days. Trey Pipkins is back. No news on Tranquil, as we all kind of expect. Maybe he's kind of out the door. They kind of kicked him to the curb a little bit with signing Eric Kendricks. And Austin Ekeler, also earlier today, I believe this is the biggest story that you guys kind of want to get into. Austin Ekeler is asked for permission to talk to other teams for a trade, and Chargers gave him the green light. So our old reliable, our biggest weapon, the man that squats the earth, could be out the door in LA. And I don't know about you, Josh, but that hurt the tummy. I had to take some Pepsi AC today. You know, that didn't make me feel too good hearing that news.
Yeah, it sucks. I think the two most consistent guys on the team last year was Austin Ekeler on offense and Drew Tranquil on defense. So losing those two guys is obviously a huge loss. My question back to you guys is, what is Austin Ekeler's trade value? I saw today that a 4th-round pick would be comparable for him, and I was thinking, how many touchdowns? 40 touchdowns the last 2 years, and we're going to get a 4th-round pick? I feel like he's way more valuable than that.
I agree with you. I would do everything I could to hold on to him. I mean, here's the deal. At 27 years old, right? You go, here's a guy that if the fantasy football draft started today, he'd be a top 10 pick. So how's a top 10 pick worthy of a 4th round pick in real football? Not saying, hey, he's the number one, but for a team that's this close to the Super Bowl, guess what? He is the number one. And so he's extremely valuable. All he does is score touchdowns, and he's a team guy. He's one of those guys where, you know, I try and say, as far as, you know, the schools where you say, man, hard work pays off, and you sit there and you go, who are the guys you look up to? And you tell kids that, hey, if you work hard, you can come out of nowhere. This guy's living the dream. He's now an NFL player, and he's extremely productive. And as you said, he squats the world and everything, Mario. I mean, he takes care of his body, but man, does he show up every single Sunday. Not everyone in the NFL shows up every single Sunday, and yet Austin Ekeler is supposed to be worthy of a 4. Now, when you find out that, hey, what do you mean he's given permission to go seek a trade? As Charger fans, you get upset immediately, and then you realize, you know, the game is short. How many years does Austin Ekeler have left in him to say, you know what, he's going to be extremely valuable? 2, 3? And that's one of those where you say, man, 2 or 3, is it worth trading away? Because you guys let me know if I'm wrong. I thought the Chargers are in position now to be one of the teams that wants to make a run to win a Super Bowl next year. That's what I thought the plan was. I didn't think we were in a rebuilding mode. I thought we're in a position to let's do everything we can to put the final touches on the polish and boom, let's go out and try and win this damn thing. What are we doing? Where are we? Who are we as a team, as an organization?
I completely agree. We're in a win now mode, and that's obviously pretty clear with the decision we made. We got Mac. That was a huge win now thing. We have Keenan Allen. We decided not to trade him. That's a huge win now thing. We got Eric Kendricks, who hasn't been the same player since 2020. So that's obviously a win now thing. He probably has someone at Ekeler, 2 to 3 good years left. So if we have all of that, why are we saying no to Ekeler? Why are we stopping there then with like the talent that's good now and not going to be good later on? If you're going to go win now mode, go win now mode. If you don't take Ekeler now, if you don't re-sign him now, then my thing is, how does that change our draft strategy? You know, we were talking last week. I was hyping up Darnell Washington, saying I have a man crush on him. Well, I might not be able to take my guy on a date because he might be picked up by another team because we're going to have to go for a freaking running back. We're going to have to take Robinson from Texas just because we have to fill that spot. So that's a confusing part about the Chargers. It's like, dude, are we in win now? Are we in win now? If we're in win now, re-sign Ekeler. Give him what he wants. He deserves it. He's vastly underpaid. He's going to make $6.25 million per year. That's what he's making with the Chargers. That is, I mean, I would pray for that money, but like that for what he's worth and how he's been playing, he deserves way more than that. So if you're in a win now mode, act like it. He's a key player. Out of all the guys on offense, he was the one that played the most. He's only missed one game the past 2 seasons. Ask that about Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. You're going to get a big difference of a number. So really, we're going to give up our guy that's most viable, that's, the most available? Come on. Like, this is dumb. It's not a good move. I don't like the move. Yeah, what do you get for it in a trade? Can you take advantage of a dumb team? It makes me nervous. It makes me nervous. I think it's a step back, not a step forward.
Yeah, so the Chargers are in win now mode for the guys they have on the team, J.C. Jackson, Joey Bosa. These aren't guys that are early in their careers. They need to win now, especially with the quarterback in place. That's obviously the thing that you need, and we have that. I don't understand why you get rid of Austin Ekeler when we don't have a backup. We're talking about drafting a running back in maybe the 3rd round to spill Austin Ekeler. If you get rid of Austin Ekeler, now we have the biggest need on the team becomes running back. There's too many holes on the team with a bunch of win now players where you just don't make this move. And what else do you want from Austin Ekeler? $6 million a year? This guy got the crap beaten out of him for 18 games last year, and you're not going to pay him. It just shows that the Chargers are cheap and they're not interested in winning now. It's always been a confusing thing about the Chargers. They never seem to have direction. Last year we talked about how they didn't have an identity. Well, you could say that the GM doesn't have an identity. He doesn't really know what he wants. As a Charger fan, you get frustrated because it feels like we're never there. We're always looking for draft picks. I hate talking about draft picks because we listen to the Cowboys and these teams that actually do want to win now, even though the Cowboys suck. Teams that actually do want to win now, they don't talk about draft picks. They talk about players that can produce for you today. And the Chargers never have a combination of guys that can do that all at the same time. I just hate when the team isn't ready to win and you have the quarterback in place like we had with Phillip Rivers.
So here's the deal I look at with the Chargers is you guys, I agree with. This is win now, without a doubt. This is not rebuilding. I mean, I feel like, I'll be honest with you, me, when I was in college, a C is as good as an A. I just want to keep moving forward or exist. I don't want to get kicked out, and for the Chargers, let's go for the A. I mean, you have the franchise quarterback. You have the big-time running back. There's certain guys on this team that you pay for. You pay for Austin Ekeler. You pay for Williams. You pay for Keenan Allen. There are guys that you pay for to have success. We've said this before on the show. If you pay attention to teams that are successful in the NFL, only 6 guys really get paid on an NFL roster out of 53. Mario, you mentioned the fact he makes $6.5 million. Well, he plays in California. Okay, that $6.5 million is $3 million. And people go, that's still a ton of money. Well, guess what? He needs that money to last the rest of his life. It's not like Austin Ekeler is going to go work at delivering pizzas down the street. That's not what you do when you're a former NFL player. You do it right. You're a pro athlete. You make appearances, and you have a nice, happy life because you've shortened your life by giving your body to the NFL. Austin Ekeler deserves to be paid, and I can't imagine. I don't have the figures. Austin Ekeler's not asking for $20 million a year. There's no way Austin Ekeler is asking for more than $12 million a year. If that's the case, I'd be shocked. Because if that was the case, you sit there and you go, well, Derrick Henry makes this, and this guy makes this. Guys who you are compared to in the league, there's no way he's asking for that much more money. You got to pay Austin Ekeler if the idea is to win now. And I don't want to know, Josh, if it's that you can say the Chargers are cheap or if you can say that the Chargers don't know how to manage money. And I think it's more that one because I've watched this team for a long time where they have gone out and spent money and it hasn't exactly worked out for them. It's wasting money. And so you say, okay, well, is that the general manager? Is who's making the decisions on where this money goes? We all know they have to pay Justin Herbert a tremendous amount of money coming up, right? And they're trying to get below the cap. Worry about tomorrow. There's no guarantee, Tom Telesco, you're going to be here tomorrow. So you better try and win it right now. Keep your job. It's not okay just to exist right now. You get rid of Austin Ekeler, man, that hurts season tickets. That hurts jersey sales. That hurts a lot of things, and it hurts that locker room because the hardest working guy on that team, you're saying you aren't worth getting paid. And what does that say to everyone else on that team, knowing their future? If you have success and deserve to get paid, it won't be with the Los Angeles Chargers.
I think so, too. Take a look around the division. Nobody's slouching. Everyone's improving. Broncos are vastly improving. They made a lot of moves yesterday that I'm a huge fan of. The Raiders made a trade for a third-round pick that they probably could have gotten more out of from Dan Waller, but still, they're taking a step. Jacoby Myers is on the team. That's a very good receiving core. Jimmy G is about as mid as it gets, but maybe he's something with McDaniels. You never know. But that's what I'm saying is everyone's taking a step, and it's just feel like we're looking around. Chiefs lose their 2 tackles, but we replace one with an all-pro, and then we're just sitting here with our ass in our hands, just going, well, I wonder what we're gonna do. Okay, so we have one of our best players on offense. We're just gonna go let him walk. Who all year, that's who we've been posting about, who we've been like just leaning on the whole time. He's been our survivor. He's been our lifeguard. He's been our freaking life jacket. What, we're gonna take it off now? We don't know how to swim. We're gonna sink in the bottom of the lake now. Like, dude, come on. Like that, it blows my mind. It blows my mind that this is the position that we're at. Blows my mind out of all of the players that we're doing this to with. It's Austin Ekeler. Like, if you told me during the season that of every offensive starter or one of our more weapons on the team, one of them is going to be gone, I would have immediately said, probably Allen or Williams, just by the production and just by them not being available. Last would have been Ekeler, but here we are. So, and I'm really, really nervous. I don't know about you guys, but I am definitely nervous of how this affects draft strategy. Because if that really does mean that we're going running back in the first round with Robinson, who's an exceptional talent from Texas, then I feel like we're really missing out on a chance to, one, get an edge rusher, and two, get someone that can be very, very good with Herbert for a very long time.
Yeah, exactly. Now you have to take a running back in the first round. It's probably going to be Bijan Robinson. Like you said, he's a good player, but I would have liked the running back to supplement Austin Ekeler. Now you're going to see Austin Ekeler go to the freaking Philadelphia Eagles or another team that wants to win now. Is this going to hurt even more watching him play in the Super Bowl? I'm confused. I hope the Chargers do the right thing. Doesn't look like it's going in the right direction right now. But I also want to talk about the rest of the division. The Raiders have been making a lot of noise this week. They signed Jimmy G, and then today they traded Darren Waller for a third-round pick. Which move do you think is more significant for the Raiders? Jimmy G coming in or Darren Waller going out?
Everybody laughs about Jimmy G. By the way, I think I said it last week on the show, Jimmy G to the Raiders. I'm going to pat myself on the back.
You did call that.
It makes
you did.
It makes sense because he has a relationship with the head coach. Obviously when they drafted Jimmy G and they developed him, if you remember, McDaniels and Bill Belichick wanted to keep Jimmy G and wanted to trade Tom Brady. And it was Robert Kraft who said, no, you aren't doing that. And then they had to ship Jimmy G off to San Francisco. I think it was for like 2 number 2s or something like that. Doesn't matter. Jimmy G's in the NFL. Everyone kind of laughs about Jimmy G, which is so strange to me. I don't understand why Jimmy G takes hits. He's been to a Super Bowl. Okay. Women love him. I mean, God dang, the Raiders are going to buy, people are going to buy that jersey like crazy. And he has a 70.2% winning percentage, same exact as Peyton Manning. Same. The guy's a winner. Okay. He hasn't won a Super Bowl yet, but now he has weapons and now he feels like he's welcomed. The guy has done well. I'm not saying this guy's Mahomes. Nobody's Mahomes. Mahomes, completes or wins over 80% of his games. Jimmy G, though, is not a joke, and he's better than Carr. I will say that. I think the Raiders got better as far as switching quarterbacks out. Carr leaves. Jimmy G comes in. Jimmy G is more accurate, and I think we'll do a better job. Now, do they become a Super Bowl contender? Probably not. Now, if Aaron Rodgers was there and they had 1 year and they kept Waller, I would say, man, this Raider team would be interesting to watch and see how good they could possibly be. I think the Raiders are better. I don't think they're good enough right now to finish in first place in the AFC West, and I'm not even sure about second place yet. But I want to see what they do in the draft. The Raiders obviously plan on spending some more money because they've opened up a lot of holes as far as their salary cap goes. I'm curious to know what the plan of attack is for the Raiders. And Raider fans, if you're watching this right now, you might be very disappointed at the same time. As I say, hey, what are we buying next? If you watch the Patriots, what are we buying next was never what we're buying next because they never bought anything next. It was always Tom Brady and a bunch of boring guys. And that could be exactly what the Raiders plan on doing with their head coach too and their roster, because Raider fans are freaking out. If you're looking at message boards today, they are losing their mind going, what in the hell are you doing? And when are we going to fire the coach? And what is Davis doing? And everyone, I thought Gruden was trash. People are saying, people are really upset. Now, if the Raiders don't do anything and they lose, oh, man, people are going to freak out. People are going to freak out. And so it'll be interesting to watch. To me, they're a fascinating story in the AFC West is what the Raiders are doing next.
When I saw it, I kind of thought of it as getting a sandwich from a sandwich place. Like, let's say I really want a BLT, right? Like, me getting a BLT at Subway versus me getting a BLT like Jimmy John's. Okay. It's just what you prefer. Okay. It's the exact same thing. The ingredients are the same. When you bite into it, it's the same. It's whichever you prefer. That's how I feel about Derek Carr and Jimmy G. I think they're the exact same person. the difference. One's really
Really?
good looking and one has eyeliner. Yeah, that's it to me. Like that's legit. Like that's all I think about. Like one Carr probably turns the ball over a little bit more. Jimmy G does not. He's more of your classic Bill Belichick type of QB in a way. Very much if he's on a good team, he's a good quarterback. But if he's not on a good team, don't expect him to throw 5 touchdowns and you're winning some games that you shouldn't win. It does nothing for me. And I think it did nothing for a lot of other people. I mean, if you look at the Raiders on BetMGM, like when they got Jimmy G, their odds stayed the same. You know, like it wasn't like they jumped for Super Bowl odds or AFC odds or AFC West odds. They kind of stayed the same. And for me, that's what it does. I think they made moves like that all over the place. Darren Waller is a great tight end, but he played 9 games last year. Before that, he played 11. He's hurt a lot. So you shipped him off, Giants, which I think you could have gotten maybe a little bit more back than just 1/3 pick. Like, dude, you couldn't even get like a 6 in there. It's very surprising. So and then you sub that in with Jacoby Myers, who's a fine player, but I think he fits that Waller mode in the passing game, obviously, not overall, but in that passing game, he definitely fits. For me, it did nothing. Like, it's like, congrats, Raiders. I think you sit at the exact same spot you sat at before the year. Now, is he going to be better with McDaniels? Sure, I could believe in that. I don't know, man. Like, it doesn't push the needle for me. I'm not sitting here going, I'm more worried about the Raiders. I'm not sitting here going, I think we're going to pound them in the dirt now that they have this guy. It's the sandwich. It's the BLT from Subway, BLT from Jimmy John's. Either way, I'm going to get satisfied.
Yeah, I kind of lie. I kind of lie between both of what you guys were saying. I agree. Jimmy G is somebody that does win, but when he was with the Patriots and the 49ers, they had top defenses. I think that's a big reason why Jimmy G's winning percentage is as good as it is. With the Raiders, you have the 29th best passing defense, like 30th best defense overall. That defense sucks. And every time you see a Raiders thing across the bottom of the TV, it's with offense. You guys forget you have Max Crosby and a bunch of guys on the defensive side of the ball. You're not going to win anything if you don't pick up people. Jacoby Myers is a good player, good receiver. Congratulations. You can't stop anybody. Patrick Peterson goes to the Pittsburgh Steelers. That would have been a guy for this Raiders defense could have got a leader in the locker room. The Raiders will never be anything as long as they don't have a defense. And Jimmy G just does not score that many points. So I don't know how the Raiders plan on winning games if they're scoring 21 points and they're giving up 31. So I hope the Raiders always lose, but I definitely don't feel bad for them. And Jimmy G is better than Derek Carr. I will admit that. Jimmy G, I would take over Derek Carr. He doesn't turn the ball over. He's way more accurate. I think Jimmy G's like top half quarterback in the league for sure.
He's going to look good in a Raiders uniform.
He will.
He's going to look good. Sure. He's going to look really good.
All right, so here you go. Winning percentages, career starts of minimum 25. Patrick Mahomes has won 80% of his games. Tom Brady 75.4. Roger Staubach 74.3. Lamar Jackson 73.8. Montana 71.3. And Peyton and Jimmy G both 70.2. I mean, there are a lot of guys that played football for a long time. He's better than Carr. My opinion, he is better than Carr. And Jacoby Myers has been the best thing to happen to the Raiders defense in years. When he threw that ball to Chandler Jones last year for the Raiders to win that game against the Patriots, yeah. I mean, how weird is it when they walk into the locker room at the same time for the first time? Hey, man, that was a hell of a pass. That was a hell of a pass that you threw to me. How crazy is it? If you're a Patriots fan and you find out that he signed with the Raiders, you're like, I knew it. This guy was on the take a year ago. He threw the ball right to Chandler Jones on the last play of the game, on the craziest play we've ever seen. I agree, Josh, what you're saying about the Raiders defense. And that's why I think when you talk about, draft picks in that situation with Waller and you're trying to clear money, because Waller is one of those 6 guys, as we talk about that make a tremendous amount of money, that it gives the Raiders a little bit of flexibility. I don't know what they do. They'll be interesting to watch. I'm kind of curious to know what is the Raiders' overall plan. Mara, you said just a little bit ago, you like what the Broncos are doing. So do I. I hate to say it. I like that the Broncos are aggressive and doing everything they can to improve. Everyone's getting better, man. Everyone's getting better, and the Chiefs are going to find a way even to get better. Last year was supposed to be a little bit of a rebuilding year for the Chiefs. And by the way, Kadarius Toney, who, obviously came over from the Giants, and when we were saying that the Chargers should have made that move for him when that he was available, the Kadarius Toney pick ends up being Waller. That's the pick that they just got traded back. So who would you rather have, Waller or Tony? I would take Waller. I mean, it seems like the Giants made out pretty good with this whole move, right?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a steal. He's 30, which I guess that is a big worry. He's 30 years old. But I mean, yeah, I think that's a great
He
deal
doesn't have a
for
lot of
you.
wear and tear on that body, though. I mean, you remember
No.
he was one of those guys that was out of the league, back in the league. Even though he's 30, he's probably has the wear and tear of a 24-year-old.
And let's be honest, he's with a better coach. A coach that's probably can utilize him a little bit more. Coach. Yeah, and he's probably going to get more targets.
Just got married last week, Yeah.
Probably wants to live in – his wife probably wants to live in New York over at Las Vegas.
Yeah, Shady requested a trade to the New York Liberty, so that happened, Big deal.
Are you making that up, or is that true? Is that true?
I just made that up.
Right? Just make that up?
I mean, dude, you could have – I was just going to go with that. I was like, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah,
I was just going to roll with that one.
Oh, man. All right, here's something that's a little bit weird.
Yeah.
Okay. How about every team in the division except for the Raiders signed a right tackle in the last 2 days? Is that kind of weird? Right? Chiefs got Jawan Taylor, and then Broncos got Mike McGlinchey, and then Chargers re-signed Trey Pipkins. It's kind of a weird thing. Right tackle, some position that nobody really talks about. That's extremely important. All right, let's talk about that. Right tackle then for the Chargers. The Chargers re-signed Trey Pipkins. So does that mean Jamari Sawyer is now the left guard and we're good? I mean, that means we have a great offensive line, right?
You sure do. Yeah, you sure do. I mean, it's funny when you lose Rashawn Slater early in the season, and I think that was a huge hit for Tom Telesco. As much as we might be critical of him and his draft picks, Slater was one of those where people are like, man, this guy's a lot better than I thought, especially if you don't watch college football, that you're going, man, this was a hell of a pick. And you knew about it right away. And you talk about the money that you have to pay down the line. Down the line, that guy's going to make a tremendous amount of money. But losing him early in the season was a huge shot to the Chargers in their future success. So I do like what the Chargers are doing on that offensive line. And I think you got to protect the franchise. You got to protect Justin Herbert, and the Chargers right now are doing a good job of that.
I love it. I mean, yeah, bring them back. Like we said, we never really saw this O-line at the peak of their powers. And guess what? We get to see them at the peak of their powers with someone that can call freaking plays with Kellen Moore. So I'm really excited about that. I'd be even more excited if we have Austin Ekeler with that O-line and a new offensive mind. But hey, beggars can't be choosers, I guess. But I love the move. That's just another where Raiders kind of look like the dumb team in the division. They just kind of look like everyone. There's got to be a stupid. Yeah, there's got to be a stupid kid in the class. So right now, their name's the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, it's been that way for over 20 years. It's been that way for a long time.
Yeah, I got a question for Mario. Okay, so the draft's coming up, and we've talked about a lot about what the Chargers are going to do. Running back, anywhere on the defensive line, tight end, whatever it is. Out of this combination of players, what would be your preferred choice? Okay, you got two tight ends. You got Dalton Schultz, free agent, right? And then you have Michael Mayer. And then running backs, you have Bijan Robinson and Austin Ekeler. What combination of that would you want?
Oof. Probably the Robinson Ekeler by far. Because Ekeler is so important in the passing game. Like, it's unbelievable. And by the way, he still almost got 1,000 yards rushing on the ground with such a piss poor line to back him up in it. So probably that, because you can do the passing game with him, have Robinson run on the ground. Robinson's actually not a bad wideout. The same time. I mean, he could run routes, catching passes. He did everything for Texas besides, fold their laundry. So I would take that one. The Dalton Schultz is a very good tight end. I don't know if he's amazing tight end. There's obviously the fact that he's going to be familiar with a Kellen Moore offense, and that helps a lot. Michael Mayer is a really, really good player. But pause on him for a second, because he is an ND boy. So you got to watch out for the ND boys. You don't really know what you're going to get, except for Quentin Nelson, apparently, and Drew Tranquil, who we're just going to let walk out of the door. But yeah, for those ones, I'm going Robinson and Ekeler. What about you, Dave?
I tell you what, I do want to see Schultz come here, and the reason is he already knows the offense, and I think Kellen Moore needs some guys in that room that believe in his system. And I know people will say, what are you talking about, that, you need guys? He already has the job. I think it's a comfort zone for a couple of reasons. One is players might not be picking up what Kellen Moore is preaching or teaching right away. And you can always go to a player in the room that wears the uniform to say, hey, explain to me. You don't have to feel like the dumb guy that's trying to learn a foreign language. So he's a person that Kellen Moore has faith in. And he's serviceable. He's not a top tight end. You know what I mean? He's not the A+ guy, but he's good enough to do the job for the Chargers. And the Chargers, if you look at their offense the last few years, as far as rotating tight ends in and out since Antonio Gates has been gone, I mean, those superstar tight ends don't exist, except for once in a blue moon. The Chargers have been lucky to have two of them in their franchise history, and Kellen Winslow and Antonio Gates. The Chiefs have had two of them, and Tony Gonzalez and Travis Kelce. But you don't see a lot of teams that continue to run through those star tight ends, and then it seems like it's years and years. For what the Chargers offense is, I'd be happy with Schultz, save a little bit of money. He's not going to ask for a tremendous amount of money, and you get someone that's already familiar with the system. I still would like the idea, guys, of I'm a Jalen Hyatt guy right now. I still would love to see the speed on the outside. And for me, if you had Keenan Allen, you had Mike Williams, and you have Jalen Hyatt, I think those are three extremely dangerous guys and tough guys to take care of, especially if you still hold on to Austin Ekeler.
Yeah, this is the draft you go with explosive players. The Chargers, it seems like a lot of times they go with the offensive lineman or defensive lineman. That's the smart move. But this time, I think the smart move really is to go with a dynamic player. I would love to see Justin Herbert with the double tight ends. I've never seen him with like one good tight end, let alone two really good ones. And Michael Mayer, I'm not going to say he's Travis Kelce because I don't think anybody is, but he is the closest thing to Travis Kelce in the draft. And the closest thing to actually Travis Kelce in college football is Brock Bowers with Georgia. So maybe down the line that could happen. But Michael Mayer right now is the closest thing to Travis Kelce in the draft. I would love to see somebody paired with Justin Herbert for his entire career, like Antonio Gates was with Phillip Rivers. All right, Mario, I got to ask you a question because I know it's something you're very excited about as you live in Indianapolis, really close to Chicago. What is your opinion on the crazy trade between the Bears and the Panthers?
Well, I'm just going to say Panthers give them – I don't even know what to say about it. Let me restart that real quick. Let me just say this. The Panthers, I don't know what you were thinking. I think you got robbed. I think you gave up way too much. But from the city of Chicago and to you, thank you very, very much because you just made everyone's freaking day. That was a move I think the Panthers were very desperate into making and the Bears were not. And it is partying like it's 1944 because that is the last time the Chicago Bears have had a good quarterback, and that his name was Sid freaking Luckman. If you're wondering who he is, look up of who has the most touchdown passes in one game. Look that up because it's Peyton Manning and Sid Luckman, and you're welcome for the trivia, baby. When you're out on a Thursday night at a bar and it's trivia night, you're freaking welcome. Venmo's open. But I think it's a very, very good trade for the Chicago Bears. I thought it was very, very smart. 9 is a little low, though, like in terms of just top 10. Like it rattled me that they went all the way down. But the fact that is that you got, in reality, 2 firsts. You got the 9th pick and the 2024 first-round pick. Get a second-round pick, 2025 second-round pick, and you get the number 1 wideout, DJ Moore. I think that's huge. He's had a 1,000-yard season, not this past season, but year before that, with obviously terrible quarterbacks throwing to him. This year, he almost got it, but fell short. So he's a very talented receiver, a very good receiver that is overlooked in this league. The Bears get what they want added to a receiving core because Darnell Mooney's not it. He's just a good slot receiver. Chase Claypool can't catch a jump ball to save his life. It's either going to be a penalty or he just looks like a freaking moron. That's what he is. He's a freaking moron. He's not good. He just has what people think would be good. So he's what I call a penalty target. You target him to get a penalty. And then if you don't get the penalty, congrats, you're screwed. So they get the guy that they want for a receiver. I think that really helps out Chicago. I do think Chicago could move up a little bit because 9th pick, like I said, it's really, really low. And if they're like banking on Jalen Carter falling all the way down there, I wouldn't want to be that person. But I think it's a very good trade. Doesn't make sense why Panthers gave up DJ Moore. There's a lot of Chicago beat reporters that said it was either another first-round pick or DJ Moore, and polls wanted DJ Moore. And the last thing I'll say about this too, for everyone calling Brian Poles a genius and saying, fleeced and he's this next smart general manager, he's not. He's not. Don't act like he's a genius from this trade. Okay, he had all the balls were all in his court. Okay, this is like when a college basketball or college football coach takes over a program from a Hall of Fame coach and he does a great job in his first year. That's not his players. Those are the other guys' players. The other guy recruit him. Judge him when the freshman that he recruits comes all the way up to their senior years. That's when you judge him. He was given a great spot at number 1. Balls in your court. You have literally everything in your court to be successful. It was still a good trade, but let's stop getting on the bus that Ryan Poles is the best GM in the league, because he's simply not. He just made a very, very smart move. Dave, tell me where I'm wrong, because I saw some faces. I'm interested.
All right. First of all, two things. One is the Panthers didn't have a choice. You hired an offensive coach. You hired Frank Reich. He was the guy that's supposed to change your entire offense. Carr says he's not going there. They aren't going to get the quarterback they want in the draft. And so you go, what can we possibly do? This is basically, hey, you can have our entire franchise because we have to get a franchise quarterback. And that's where we're at if we're ever going to move forward. And whether they think they have the guy or not, they have to go out and get one of those 3 or 4 guys that everybody's talking about. So I'm looking at the Bears, Mario, and this is why the Bears are the Bears. Field sucks. And because Field sucks, it's not going to work out. Okay. And I'm telling you right now, something wrong with your chair? You almost fell back. So look, Field stinks. I've watched Field since he was a freshman at Georgia. I watched him transfer to Ohio State. I watched Mac Jones kick the crap out of him in the national championship game where it looked like they didn't even belong on the same field. He's overrated as hell. He's never been a winner, not a fan. And just like Chicago Bears football is, they've never had a big-time quarterback except for Sid Luckman. What I mean, Sid Luckman was in World War II against Hitler too at the same time.
Actually, he did. Him and Hal.
I believe it. Killing Nazis.
Yeah,
I'm not shocked. God dang. Think about it. That's before Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier. That's how long ago that was. Justin Fields stinks. Okay. And the Bears just have had those guys. I mean, Bears fans talk about, oh man, we had Jim McMahon. Jim McMahon was a below average quarterback. And it seems like the Bears can never figure out having a good quarterback and a good wide receiver at the same time. Now, they did get a quality wide receiver for the Panthers. They don't have anyone to get them the damn ball. This is where Bears fans are going to lose their mind as far as thinking, oh my God, we are geniuses. The draft's going to go off. And guess what? They're going to get the guy that everyone thought a month ago was the number 1 overall pick in the draft is going to fall to them. I do believe that. And they're going to end up with Carter. Everyone's going to go, everything is going our way. It is finally time where it is Bears football and everyone's looking at us like, how did you guys do it? And then the season's going to start in September. Carter's probably going to be in jail by then. And then Fields is going to stink. And you're going to go, holy crap, we're the Bears again. That's what's going to happen. It's not going to work out for the Bears. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so the number 9 pick is the most anticipated number 9 pick in NFL history. Because if Jalen Carter does fall to them, which I 100% believe he will, like Dave said, because for some reason, I don't know, I'm not going to get into the whole legal thing, but you remember Laramie Tunsil smoking weed dropped down to like number 12, even though he was supposed to be the top tackle in the draft. If the guy can play, I think you should just draft him. Tyrann Mathieu fell to the 3rd round when we all knew he was a stud coming out of LSU. And Jalen Carter goes to the Bears at number 9. Ryan Poles is a genius. He got possibly the top talented player in the draft, and he got DJ Moore and all those picks. I don't understand what the Panthers are doing. CJ Stroud is not him, right? He's not that guy. And I don't get it because the best quarterback in the draft is Bryce Young. Obviously, I'll mess it up. I would point to the wrong shoulder every time. Obviously, I'm a huge Alabama fan. Bryce Young is significantly better than CJ Stroud. Please tell me you watch college football if you're going to say CJ Stroud or Anthony Richardson, who we went off about last show, is better than Bryce Young. It's not even close. CJ Stroud plays in a weak conference. You can say whatever you want about the Big Ten. It's a weak conference. Teams suck. Anthony Richardson sucks. He plays in the best conference, but he sucks. You got to go Bryce Young with the number 1 pick. If the Panthers go, CJ Stroud might be average. Anthony Richardson legit sucks. If you go Anthony Richardson, you're going to pull a Russell Wilson. You're going to be a horrible franchise for years to come, and you ruin this whole thing. And then Ryan Poles is going to be the reason why. So that number 9 pick to me actually is going to be more interesting because if Jalen Carter goes there, the Bears are on the up and up.
I will say this. If this scenario happens, I think that someone that was talking a little bit earlier was completely wrong and maybe just didn't sound very educated, and that's okay. I think Justin Fields is it and is the guy and is going to be a good quarterback. I don't think he was able to express his ability to throw. And I think the reason why he is good, to combat what you're saying, is that I think in order to be a quarterback in Chicago, because you're in a big market, you have to have a strong head. You have to have a strong head because you're in a strong market. I mean, you're in a big market and you're going to get critiqued hard. Fields came from Ohio State. That's a big football school where every little pass is going to get critiqued. And he stood tall in games. He played a great Clemson game where he got murdered like the whole game and still delivered throws. And he's been level-headed through the whole time. He's level-headed through his past year when it looked like it was really, really bad and came out strong in the end. That's really, really big. He knows how to handle pressure. Mitch Trubisky came from freaking North Carolina where they give you roses and a slap on the butt if you just threw 2 touchdown passes and 2 interceptions in a freaking game. He had no idea what he was walking into in Chicago. So that's why I think he's going to be successful. And I think you're going to see him take a big step. If he does not take a big step, like you said, Josh, what if Panthers take Anthony Richardson, which we all think is a very stupid decision? And they're not a very talented team because they just traded away their first receiver. So that means they're going to suck.
Exactly.
So so then their pick's going to be like top 3 pick. Let's just say in a universe it's a top 3 pick, or heaven forbid they literally have the worst record in the NFL. Then you go get freaking Caleb Williams, and you start the whole process again. And you're only a year behind.
Let me ask you a question. Going back to what you just said about CJ Stroud, whose future would you, or not CJ Stroud, Justin Fields, whose future would you rather have, Justin Fields or any quarterback in this draft?
Ooh. Okay. So right now it's looking like the Panthers are going to draft the QB, Texans draft the QB, and Colts draft the QB. So that's 3 futures right there. And I'm just going to think about those teams first. Irsay is tweeting South Park clips of himself right now. So definitely would take Fields' future. Fields' future over that guy. So I do that. So for that one, yes. Texans are on the 3rd coach in 3 years. I think he's the best coach. Frank Wright never got a fair opportunity. Yeah, I would take Fields.
Okay, hold on a second here. All right, I think maybe I missed this, Josh, but did you ask the question like, who would you rather have? Okay, Fields or Bryce Young? Fields or CJ Stroud? Fields or Levis? Fields or Richardson? Like if you had a choice of all those guys, okay, they're all in a bowl, and you could pull out anybody you want out of that bowl. Who are you taking out of those guys?
You know what my answer is, okay? You know, I'm gonna say Bryce
Young's hard.
But I'm also biased. So I'm very aware that I'm very biased. But I will give you this, and Dave is in the same boat as me. We watched every pass, and he was behind the 8 ball a lot of times with the horrible offensive line. And Bill O'Brien was lost as a coordinator, and he was phenomenal. He obviously won the Heisman the year before last. So I would say Bryce Young's the best. After that, I think it's actually a toss-up between Fields and Stroud. I'm not really sure. And then there's a huge gap, and then there's Levis, and then there's an even bigger gap, and then there's Richardson. So that's the way I look at it.
I would agree with that. Young would be the one I'd take over, but if it was between Stroud and Fields, I would still lean towards Fields.
And I don't hate you for that opinion. Like I think Justin Fields, if he was in school, it wouldn't be an A.
Josh said, "I hate you for that opinion." I hate you for that opinion.
I have said that to people. I think I said this past weekend. Yeah. If Justin Fields was in school, he wouldn't be getting an A, B, C, D, or F. He'd be getting an incomplete, right? Nobody knows what Justin Fields is. He's had such a weird career up to this point. This is his year right now with DJ Moore and the roster that they have to see how good he is. So,
look, okay, here you go. I'm going to tell you mine. I go, if I had to choose all these guys in order, I'm going Young as my number 1. I'm going Stroud as my 2. And Stroud for my number 2 for a couple reasons. One is he looks the part, big body. I know he can take hits. Those are the things that people are concerned with Bryce Young about. But Young beat the hell out of Stroud in high school, and I'll never forget it. All right? Trust me, he's a winner. Stroud's a loser. Okay? Am I right, Josh? All right.
Hell yeah, you're
Next,
right.
Okay, then I'm taking Levis at 3, and then I'm taking maybe Fields over. I'm just not sold on Fields. I'm pretty sure I could go to the county fair, sit in a dunk tank, and let Fields try and dunk me, and I'm pretty sure I'm not going to need a towel, Mario. I'm pretty sure I'm going to step out of there dry because he's not going to be able to hit the target. Fields stinks, dude. He always survives on his legs.
Will Levis going to be able to?
Will
Levis going to be able to?
Yeah. Will Levis is the only guy that could probably dunk. He can only dunk. He can't do anything else. He could hit the target. He can't move. I'm not saying Levis is going to be a star. I'm saying I've seen Fields. Don't say the jury's still out on Fields. This is year 3 he's going into. I mean, what the hell's happening over there? This is the NFL. He doesn't look like an NFL quarterback. He runs like anybody. He's a fantastic runner. He can't survive. It's not going to work.
Record.
Fields stinks. Yeah, for what? Most disappointing quarterback of all time? What record
He
was that?
broke. So he breaks a record this year, and the record that was held before that was by a former MVP. So that's crazy. And we're gonna trust Will Levis, who is this hype man from Kentucky, and then pisses down his leg the whole freaking season. And then we sit here and throw a freaking parade for him because you think he's a little bit like Josh freaking Allen. False. Not even close. Gets a nut job. He's terrible. He's god freaking awful. And people are convinced themselves of it because they think he has abilities of Josh Allen. If you think that he is ahead of anyone, and especially Fields, no. I will stand for a lot, Dave, but I'm going to put my freaking foot down right there. Will Levis is no.
Keep this show. You better archive this one show because someone's going to be crazy wrong. Someone's going to be crazy right. Archive this
I'll
show.
keep receipts. Yeah, I'll remember.
Okay. Yeah, I want you to keep receipts. Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead and keep receipts of this show. I want to know exactly how things are going to end up. I'm sorry. Fields had one good day, in my opinion, against a quality team. And that's when he beat Trevor Lawrence and Clemson. And that was it. And again, to me, it's disappointing. How many opportunities do you give a quarterback before you think he can either play this game in the NFL or you can't? I'm just curious. What do you guys
year
think?
3.
Daniel Jones got 3.
Final year. Yeah, final year's year 3. You either can or you can't.
I think that's a fair
for a guy
statement.
drafted that high.
Yeah, dude, that's a fair
That's
statement.
A lot of games.
But look,
I think
the
you
Giants
need less
did it
than
and it worked.
17 games to figure it out. Do you think Daniel Jones is actually the guy? Yeah, but you kind of so did Troy Aikman. Okay, but you could kind of tell. I mean, Peyton Manning always threw an ugly pass, but everyone knew Peyton Manning had it. Everyone knew Troy Aikman had it. You know what I mean? It was a matter of giving them talent. Well, yeah. Well, Breeze's arm was sticking through the sunroof on the way home after his shoulder was dislocated. I mean, they kind of had to get rid of him. They had Philip Rivers standing by. Drew Brees was a train wreck. Couldn't even take his shirt off. That was different. I don't think anyone said Drew Brees sucked. Yeah, I understand that. I'm sitting there telling you I don't think Fields is the guy, and if he ends up being the guy, Mario, I will apologize. All right. I will drive to Indianapolis on a year from today, and I will buy you a steak, and that's where I stop. I'm not anything else, just a steak today. Okay, a year from today.
Well, okay. Well, I'll be living in Chicago at that time, but yeah, we'll do that. It'll be a steak. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what we'll do.
Deal.
Yeah.
Deal. And I'll
Today's
apologize.
International Steak Day, right? It's International Steak and something else. I can't remember what else.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
I heard. So I'll buy the steak, but I'll stop there.
Dude, okay, now that we're on topic, should we do my QB tiers? I'll see what you guys think.
Yes,
yeah,
please.
go ahead. Am I going to cry like little tears, or are you talking levels?
It's tiers, and you might cry where Justin Fields is because apparently I should put him at the freaking bottom.
Okay, yeah, I will. Can't wait to hear this.
Okay, so tier 1 is I did this in dating terms. So like it's like move in together, marry, all that stuff, you know. If you want relationship advice, go through Josh's DMs. He's got you. So tiers of QB.
True.
Let's start with number 1. You want to put a ring on it. You want to marry them. You want to, it's the forever, it's the cute, it's the Instagram reel. That's Patrick Mahomes.
Yes.
And that's Joe Burrow. And that's where I cut it off.
Yes.
At. The only 2.
Agree. 100% agree.
Okay.
Yep. I agree.
Good.
Next level. If I want to put a ring on it and I'm on drugs, Aaron Rodgers. And then it just stops there. So it's like
really? He's number 3?
Yeah. Okay. That's it. For the next one, it is look, I'm gonna live with you. I love you a lot right now. This is going pretty good. I would put a ring on it, but maybe I don't have the money yet, so I'm gonna live with you a little bit. Let's feel each other out a little bit. We've had some success, we've had some good times. So this one's a little bit bigger. So it goes Josh Allen. This is not in any order, by the way, like of who's better. It's just they're clumped. Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, Trevor Lawrence, Deshaun Watson. Looking back, should have done something pretty creative with Deshaun Watson. Really missed it on that one.
Okay. All right. Do you want me to give my opinion, or you want me to wait till you're done?
No. Give your opinion. Okay. Give your opinion before you move on to the next one.
Okay, I don't think
Wait, no,
Deshaun
I'm
Watson
taking
and
out Trevor
Lawrence.
Lawrence. Taking out. I'm taking. I meant to take out Trevor Lawrence. So, but yeah, go ahead. Shoot,
Okay.
my bad. Sorry.
After watching Deshaun Watson last year, I would be apprehensive on putting him that high. I think he's in the same category as Trevor Lawrence for now. But I don't hate you for your opinion.
I like that. That's a new thing. I don't hate you for that opinion. I hate Dave for Fields' opinion.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
All right, what do you got? What else you got?
Dave, do you disagree at all with that last tier?
No, that's fine. I mean, go ahead. My rankings are different. I mean, it's funny. All three of us agree on the top two quarterbacks in the NFL. You know,
Okay.
Meaning Mahomes and Burrow are just they're better than everyone else in our opinion.
Yeah.
Right. But I wouldn't put like I wouldn't have Rodgers where you have him. And here's a question. Everyone who listens or watches the show knows that Jalen Hurts is a person that is friends with Josh, and Josh knows him. I still would take Justin Herbert over Jalen Hurts right now. You know what I'm saying? If you gave me an option of which guy do I want quarterback in my team, Justin Herbert goes ahead of Jalen for me. Am I wrong, Josh? You can choose either one of them to be quarterback Chargers next year. Who are you choosing?
What do you think? What do you think?
Well, he has them as even. He has them in the same tier. That's what I'm saying.
I know, but you didn't say who's better. Who do you think's better?
It's one. It just came off an MVP year and a Super Bowl year, but had an extremely talented team. I'd take Herbert still. Yeah, I'd take Herbert still. I'd still put him over that. Herbert had to overcome a lot.
Yeah. If you put Justin Herbert on the Eagles, I think they're just as good or better. So I'll take Justin Herbert too. I agree.
I'd say they'd win the Super Bowl. He's on the Eagles with that receiving core
for sure. Yeah. All right. Do you have any more tiers, or is that it?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
No, he hasn't gotten to field. He hasn't gotten to fields yet. Yeah. Josh and I will knock these out next week. By the way. Yeah. We'll knock these out because I'm going to go long on time. Go ahead. I want to hear the rest of yours. So.
You got the looks and the activities are fun, but the personality is still coming along. So like, we're kissing. The kissing's fun. That stuff's a lot of fun, but personality we're still trying to feel that out. Girl or guy, maybe there's a good looking guy. You see a hot guy and you're like, hey, like, this is good body. Like, but it's just, you're a brick wall. So we're still trying to figure that out. So for that one, that's Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, and Tua, which I think's fair. That's fair.
Whoa. Dude, you're out of your mind.
Yeah. What are you talking about?
Dude, I think that's pretty fair.
Two of the three were perfect. The Justin Fields does not belong in the same category as those two guys. The other two guys have been proven winners at some point in their life. Go ahead. It's your tier. I got it.
Okay.
Justin Fields is the guy you take to spring break for 3 days, and then you get on a different flight back home.
Well,
Justin Fields is.
You're wrong.
Go ahead.
Well, you're wrong. All right, this next one is crazy but fun. The next one's you're really crazy. You check my location a lot. You're constantly asking who I'm DMing and stuff. It's weird. So it's that type. That's a big list. So that's Dak Prescott, Kyler Murray, Russell Wilson, Derek Carr, Daniel Jones, Kirk Cousins, Matthew Stafford, Geno Smith.
That's pretty good right there.
Jared Goff. Yeah, Jared Goff's in that section.
Okay. No joke. I'm not even being a smartass here. You rather have Justin Fields and Kyler Murray?
Right.
Yeah, dude. Are you kidding me? Yeah. Yes, dude.
I'm almost with Mario on this. I can't stand Kyler Murray on and off the field.
Okay.
I can't. Dude, you can't have a quarterback. The only reason Aaron Rodgers gets away with his crap is because he's Aaron Rodgers. Kyler Murray is trying to pull the same thing. Dude, you're not that guy. Like, I can't stand Kyler Murray. Like, seriously, I think he's like the most annoying player in the NFL.
At least Kyler Murray can throw.
Oh, my God.
I just don't have faith that. Yeah, I think he can.
At least Justin Fields can see over the freaking line and can make a play happen.
And then, to run by it, he's not going to throw it to anybody. All right.
Yeah, keep going.
I'm just not Justin Fields fan. Go ahead.
The last one, if I'm 50, I'll call you. Okay? It's like,
this is 2 a.m. at the club?
Yeah,
Donna
well, yeah,
Summers
that
play?
and
Yeah.
it's like, dude, if I'm still lonely by like 40 or 50, similar to like franchises, if it's the end of free agency and shoot, we still don't have anyone, you're getting called. The Ryan Fitzpatrick. You see Ryan Fitzpatrick, it's like you're great, you're cute, but I don't want to marry you now. But like when I'm 40, if no one's taking a ride, then here we go. So that's where I'm at. This is the spot. And for that one, it's Sam Darnold, Mac Jones, Ryan Tannehill, Brock Purdy, and I put Matt Ryan in there because I was trying to think of starters.
Yeah, Sam Darnold doesn't belong in that list.
Yeah, Sam Darnold's he's like not even a starter anymore. I feel like
Yeah.
after this draft, he won't be
Yeah.
considered a starter. Is Baker Mayfield in there? I would take Baker Mayfield over Sam Darnold.
I didn't put Baker in there.
I don't know. I
But,
mean,
yeah,
we're really just picking the worst guys. Trey Lance is probably in there, right? He's probably the quarterback for the 49ers. I don't know what they do with Brock Purdy, but yeah, they all suck. I mean, obviously, all those guys suck. So
yeah, so that's about him. Yeah. Then Dave's gonna
All right.
That's where Fields should be.
That's what I think. I'm sorry. I'm just not a Fields fan. I think he's the guy that's going to hold your organization back if you're a Bears fan. I think if you're a Bears fan, you're going to look at it and go, man, he was the guy. He had every opportunity. We got him a star wide receiver. We got him draft picks. We got him everything he could possibly need, and he just wasn't the guy. And it happens in the NFL, man. There are guys that just end up not being the guy. I mean, Sam Darnold's not the guy. You know what I mean? The Jets found out. The Panthers found out. Certain guys just can't do it. That's what makes playing quarterback in the NFL so extremely amazing, is that look how many people are in the world. Yet technically there are less than 10 people on the planet that can actually have success playing this position. You know, it is amazing. And then people say, oh, playing shortstop for the Yankees or playing, small forward for the Chicago Bulls, man, those are tough too. There's nothing like playing quarterback in the NFL. And it's really incredible when you think about, I hate to tip my hat to him, the job Patrick Mahomes has done is amazing. The fact that all this guy does is win 80% of his games, and he makes it look easy, and he's not the fastest guy on the field, and he loses a star wide receiver, and yet here he is winning another Super Bowl. That certain athletes that can separate themselves like we've never seen before. I hate to say it, kind of like when Jordan got to the NBA. We just never seen anything kind of like it, of what they were able to do and pull off that kind of greatness. Sometimes you just have to admire it. So I know it sounds like I'm bashing Justin Fields, which I guess I have. I just don't see it in him, and I don't think it's anything he can do, Mario, to fix it. I just think he is what he is. That's just me. So again, you can save your receipts and show me in a year or two when he's playing for whoever.
Steak dinner on me.
Riders.
Yeah. Steak dinner on me in San Diego. Steak dinner on you in Chicago.
Yeah. Indianapolis.
What's gonna be?
Or Chicago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
For a future
segment, I want to. Yeah. Hold on. For a future segment, I want a top 10 players that Dave hates in the NFL list. I think it'd be hilarious.
Ooh.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's a good one too. God.
Joey Bosa
Hate to
won.
say
Fields
it. Yeah.
Right
Well, there you go. We probably just got 1 and 2 right there. Both Bosa brothers might be on that list.
Before we end the show, Joey Bosa said he wanted to play with his brother in the 49ers. Dude, leave like now. Get on the flight to San Francisco. I can't stand it. Oh God, it really.
I told you guys. I freaking told you guys. I told you. Man, I've seen it for years. I've seen it from day one, and this is what he is, man. He's a malcontent. He's a mess. He's not Nick, and if anything, Nick's going to expose his older brother if they ended up on the same team. Everyone would see it side by side and going, man, that guy's not as good as that guy. The little brother is much better than the bigger brother because he tries harder. He wants it more. I've seen it. I wish Joey was that guy. He's not him, as they say, right? He's just not, man. He's a huge disappointment. And I'm so pissed off the Chargers gave him all that money to begin with. They should have just said, let's trade. Let's cut our ties with this guy. Let's trade him. Let's get draft picks here and save money on the salary cap here. That's where you would have said, we aren't going to give you the big extension. You save that money for a guy like Austin Ekeler or Justin Herbert down the line. But man, they screwed that up. They screwed it up.
Don't you hate? Sorry, armchair GM here, but don't you hate when your team gives the money to the guy that seems like he's not trying the hardest, and then when the guy like Austin Ekeler, who's giving it his all, he doesn't get the money? Does it kind of drive you nuts?
Yeah, it does.
It drives me crazy. Yeah,
it absolutely does. All right, next week we'll come back. We'll do more quarterback talk, and again, more stories are coming down every day. This is a fun time of the year. This is where the NFL is absolutely amazing. That they haven't had games in more than a month, and yet everybody's talking NFL first across the country. So very exciting. We'll have more news for you next week. Again, for Josh Palet, Mario Herron, I'm Dave Palet. Thanks again for listening and watching the Bolt City podcast, courtesy of Odyssey.